Yeah, last year was just a weird year, missing Kenny Gallaudet for most of the season. Him and Marvin Jones didn't really have that same connection when Marvin Jones was the one. Really, the only bright spot was TJ Hawkinson, but he's a tight end.
Yeah.
So Stafford last year statistically didn't look very great, but I mean, you go back to 2019 again, that first half, he was setting the world on fire. Top 5 in points per game. He was killing it. And I was all over last year, target Matthew Stafford late.
Yep.
And I think I'm going to do the same thing again this year.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go behind guys. I just know it, like Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, maybe even like a Jalen Hurts. Probably go behind guys like Brady. I think he's going to go late enough to where he's a guy you should target. And I think the upside is there.
Yeah.
I think he could come back to that around 5, maybe a little bit less than that, but he has that upside.
Yeah, I think, honestly, by the time the season gets here, I don't think he's going to go as late as we think right now.
I do.
Yeah, that's fine. You can believe what you want. But I think when you really think about it, like, I think that coming to the Rams where you have an offensive mind like Sean McVay, you've got weapons, arguably probably the most all-around weaponry he's ever had. Definitely not the best talent.
Yes, individual talents he's played with, but all around.
But he has talent.
For sure.
Robert Woods can get downfield. He's a good route runner. And you can argue that Cooper Kupp has some of the best hands. He's got great hands. And then
also just a very good receiver.
Yeah, also just a very good receiver. So in a decent running game.
Tyler Higbee, you got. So we'll skip running backs for a second. Go to wide receivers here. I know you don't like when I do this, Caleb. But
yeah, well, because we're not done with Matthew Stafford.
But
that's fine. They're
overall linked more together.
Overall.
So some of the people they brought in. So in the receiving core, they have Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp. They're staying the same.
Yep.
They did bring in Desean Jackson.
Yeah.
On a 1-year deal, which
very
is
interesting to me.
Interesting. I totally forgot about it until I was making up the rundown for this. Just going back and checking the rosters just to make sure I'm not forgetting anyone. And I forgot someone. They brought in Desean Jackson.
Yeah.
They brought him in on a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. He only played 5 games last year. He's a situational player at this point in his career. He's still got the speed. He just can't be out there all the time. He can't take that anymore. His body can't hold up. But so I don't think he's going to be their number 3 receiver. I think he's going to be a situational guy.
I think he's the veteran presence.
Yeah. They bring in, Van Jefferson's going to be going in year 2, and they drafted Tutu Atwell with the 25th pick of the second round.
Actually, very surprised there, but
I know when Dwayne Eskridge and Tutu Atwell back-to-back picks in the second round of the NFL draft, both of them questionable. I don't. Van Jefferson, he saw 31 targets last year in 16 games. He did not get the opportunity last year to prove what he can do. We said it last year when he got drafted. He was a raw player. He's got that talent in him where if you can coach him up, he's got that upside, but he just didn't see a lot of time on the field last year. They lost Josh Reynolds, opening up the 3rd spot on this team. I don't want to believe in Tutu Atwell. I just don't.
Well, I don't think Tutu Atwell is going to be able to slide in as the number 2 or number 3. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think Van Jefferson would still be able to take that. They drafted Van Jefferson. When did Tutu Atwell get drafted in the second round?
24.
Okay.
24th or 25th pick. I think it might have been 25th, actually.
A little bit more draft capital there than 57. For Van Jefferson in the second round, I think. But still, I think Van Jefferson coming out of Florida, I think he'll be able to come into this season and he'll take over that. I think Tutu Atwell is going to be more of a gadget and more of a kickoff punt returner.
Yes, I see that.
100%.
They do run a lot, comparatively to the rest of the league, a decent, pretty high percentage of 12-man personnel. But when they're in the 11,
might change this year.
Really?
Yeah. Well, shipped out Gerald Everett.
They only run 11 or 12-man personnel. I mean, they literally 5% of their other snaps were at 13-man personnel. I think, they're still running like 70% at 11-man personnel, which is high. But in that personnel grouping, I think Woods and Kupp are movable. They can both go inside and outside. I think Kupp does perform best in the slot, which has been proven.
Yep.
So I do think if I had to pick one guy to be the consistent 3rd receiver, it would still be Van Jefferson, who would be mostly the outside receiver. But I think with the running game that we'll end up talking about, the tight end they have, I just don't know if the 3rd wide receiver on this team is really going to matter. Kind of like how we talked about with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be this, oh my God, we need to, you're going to draft this guy and redraft. And I don't think that's going to happen here. I think you're really more focused at Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp.
I just also don't think with that defense, like they're not going to be like the Cowboys last year where they can have 3 usable wide receivers in that offense because they have to score the ball so much.
Right. And I feel like this gets brought up every year. Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp, who do you ever rather to have? Because, I mean, arguably, they're, especially with a new quarterback like Matthew Stafford, you're going to have to kind of project out a little bit.
Yeah.
What's this going to look like? Is he going to have kind of a favorite target? Because usually Matthew Stafford has a favorite target.
Yeah.
Just being honest
and
here.
Historically, they've been you go from Calvin Johnson, he's one of a kind. Mm-hmm. You can't really compare him to anyone else who's ever played in the NFL. Just his size, speed, combo, his route running, his hands. And then you go to Kenny Gallaudet, another really big body guy. 2 outside wide receivers. It's hard, man, because Woods isn't that stereotypical outside wide receiver. He doesn't have the big body.
No, he's 6 foot 195.
Cooper Kupp is definitely the bigger receiver.
But he plays the slot mostly.
That's where he's better at. Yep. So
which is funny because he's 6'2", 208.
Yeah. Right now, if I had to put a guess on it, I think they're going to go the same draft price like they have the past 3 years.
They always go right around the exact
same price. Yep. Yes. So you're going to end up having to plant your flag.
Always the same round. Yep. It's ridiculous.
Last year, I leaned more Cooper Kupp. Woods outperformed him. It was a very disappointing season last year for Kupp.
Yeah.
It could be either one. I'm not going to make a statement on it yet.
Thank you so much for watching the Fantasy Monsters on YouTube. If you liked our video today, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the little bell icon. Get notified whenever we go live or post other videos. You can see the link below. You can click on previous videos. You can also leave comments below. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. And we'll catch you next week.
Have a good one.